Well, welcome to Between Sundays. I'm Tyler, not an apparition of a dead sailor. Today we're dreaming big, not going to be afraid. We're going to take courage because we're talking about Peter and I am. But before we step out of the boat, now that she's taken her eye off the ego and me, let's welcome in our tiny faith co-host, Maron! And welcome in special guest host and pastor of Discipleship, Jeff Unruh.
Yay! Thank you.
Welcome, Jeff.
Thank you. It's good
Man,
to be here.
have you ever listened to this podcast?
It's been a while. I just don't listen
Hey,
to podcasts.
no problem. We're glad you're here,
So,
but you're a little nervous.
Yes.
Have you been on the podcast before?
One time. And
Yeah.
It was a couple years ago, and nobody looked at you.
Oh, it was just a
It was
Wait, what
just
do you mean?
audio.
silent
we weren't on
theater.
video.
No,
Silent film.
Yeah. It was like,
Well,
I was like,
just
what
pretend
should
these
I
4
wear?
cameras are not here.
What should I wear? Is that why you wore a tie today?
it was an afterthought. It was an afterthought.
It's okay.
I put on these
You
socks.
can dress up for the pod.
I put on these socks
Yeah,
today.
show everybody your socks that way.
Oh, I don't know.
That's good.
Can y'all see that?
Yeah, that's good.
And I was like, I have a tie that looks like those socks. I'm going to wear it today.
We are off to a
And
great
then-
start.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to see it. So.
That's
Yeah.
funny. I was in a meeting with you earlier today, and I was like, man, Jeff's dressed up. He wore a tie. A tie.
It was just
I didn't even make the connection.
inspired. But then secondly, I did think, I am going to be on camera today.
Yeah.
Are.
Okay.
You did way better than me the first time I knew I was going to be on camera. I felt like I was dressed appropriately, and I was on my way up to this room, and Ryan Mickens, senior director of production, was like, "Is that what you're wearing to be on camera for the podcast?" And I was like, "Yeah."
And
He was
you
like, "Oh."
still have not gotten over that.
No, I haven't worn that shirt since.
I know you haven't. You have not gotten over it.
Oh man.
Retired that shit.
Family business. Barry's not here. He's taking a couple days off, so he'll be back next week. Nothing wrong. Just taking some time.
He said he wanted to lead by example because
Yeah.
one of our values here
Yeah.
internally as staff is the value of breathe.
And look at us.
We're not going to be ground into
We're still here.
dust. So he
Gotta
was
hold down
he
the
was
fort.
feeling it. He's
Yeah.
been doing a lot.
Yeah.
He's been going for months,
Yep.
and so he's
Good for him.
leading by example.
Wizard of Oz tickets are still on sale. So gracechurch.us/theater. That's a theater with an R-E. I guess you could do E-R.
British
Theatre.
spelling.
Theatre.
Yeah.
You could do either one,
It's a
but
British spelling. But it does
Yeah.
come up either way.
yeah.
Yeah.
Those are still on sale, although they are selling fast. I think we're over 4,000 tickets now. So
I feel like I buy an additional ticket like every day. Like there's
What do you mean?
somebody, there's something that comes
Oh.
up, or somebody. I bought tickets for.
but then they can't sit by you.
Well, I mean, we're figuring it out.
Okay.
I bought tickets for my sisters and their husbands
Yeah.
and their 8 children between them.
Yes.
And then
And last week you apologized to your mother-in-law.
I did.
Yeah.
Who
Did you
just-
forget her?
No.
Oh.
No. She found out through the podcast that I was having a giant load of family come see me
Yeah.
over Thanksgiving weekend. And she had a surgery recently and wasn't even sure she'd be able to make it to the show. But praise the Lord,
Yes.
she's recovering
Great.
well. And so she's going to be able to
Good.
come see the show. And so is my dad and
Great.
his family.
Okay.
And my sister's former foster child. So we're just, everyone we could think of. We're just
Wow.
like,
She's
hey,
been on the pod before.
why don't you just come? That's right. That's right. Everyone you could think of.
Yeah.
I love it.
Wow. Well,
And
that's
we need
a lot of
volunteers.
people.
We need volunteers.
Need volunteers. Maybe some of these
Yep.
people will volunteer for
I'll
the show.
make sure that my dad gets right on
I
that.
was
Some
having
ushers.
a board game night last night with
Oh.
people that do not go to Grace, and they might be coming to the show now because their daughter dressed up as Dorothy for Halloween.
Yes.
And so I was like, "Oh,
Perfect.
Dorothy, she's
Yeah.
in Wizard of Oz.
Yep.
Did you know we're doing this at our church?" And so they might be coming.
That's awesome.
That's great.
So you can still get tickets, but they are going fast. So do that ASAP. Shows in like 2 weeks.
2 weeks from Friday.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, 2 weeks from Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Today we're going to be talking a bit more about discipleship at Grace Church and the discipleship manual in the book of Matthew and Peter walking on water. But first, guys, what's new? What's going on? You guys just got back in town.
Yeah, yesterday.
Both of yous.
I got back yesterday.
youth
the
retreat.
Merge retreat, the youth fall retreat was this weekend. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. I feel like
All
my
these
job,
sound clips are going to be brand new to Jeff. He's going to love them. Yeah.
you should really
Every one of
tune
them.
into this show.
I
You'd be
should.
very familiar with those sound clips. No, we went to, was it Lake Tippecanoe? Where were we?
Near Lake,
No.
But it's called like Camp Tecumseh.
Oh, yeah.
There it is.
Oh,
Oh,
Tecumseh.
man, I went there in
Tecumseh.
5th grade.
Near.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was like a rite of
I feel
passage.
like exactly. It is a rite of
Yeah.
passage. Yeah. Yeah. We were there
It's-
last year. We were
it's
there again
pretty.
this year.
I got into my
It's
first
so
fight.
pretty.
Yeah, I was amazed.
Pause.
Ooh.
Pause just long enough for you to tell us about this
First
fight.
fight.
I just moved to Indianapolis, so I was like trying to make my mark.
Oh no.
No, I didn't start it. Well, I kind of did. So I was in 5th grade, and there was the trip to Camp Tecumseh, and it was like I
Like
didn't.
a church trip, a school
no,
trip?
it was a school thing. So I didn't really. Yeah, overnight. And everybody's just like goofing around and stuff, but I was like going too hard goofing around.
Yeah.
And so some
sounds like
kid,
you.
some kid like pushed me up against the wall, like grabbed my shirt and was like,
Whoa.
"You need to calm down," like a 5th grader.
Was he bigger than you?
He was about the same size, but
Okay.
I was. He was probably bigger than me. I was little when I was little, but and so I didn't like that. So we just started wrestling and fighting, and had to be separated and sleep in different
Whoa.
bunks.
Mm.
Yeah,
Wow.
Andy was his name.
But you didn't get sent home.
No, I didn't get sent home.
Is that something that like you and Andy just sit around and laugh about these days? Like he comes to
Well,
board game
I don't even know
nights?
where he is now. But
Andy, if you're listening,
yeah, Camp Tecumseh. I'll
I'd
always
like to do an
remember.
episode
5th
with you
grade.
about 5th grade
Yeah.
Yeah.
Camp Tecumseh.
That was also the. Well, never mind.
It
So you guys
was-
just got back. How was it?
It was great. It
Yeah?
was great.
It
Two
was great.
nights.
One night.
One night.
One night. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Boys and girls together.
Uh-huh.
Because they used to separate. They used to go different places. Girls retreat, boys retreat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, the last couple of retreats I've been on,
Yeah.
it's been boys and girls together. It was good. This
Did you do
year,
worship?
I did. And because I'm in school and everything, I asked if I could just sing. Like I don't want to have
yeah.
to. I want to have to practice an instrument. I don't
I
want
know
to
how
have
that
to look
is.
at a chart.
I know how that goes.
Can I just roll in
Yeah.
and just sing?
Yeah.
And so my son picked the worship set and told me
Great.
what I was singing,
Man.
picked appropriate keys for his
Mhm.
aging mother, and
Wait, what does that mean?
that means he knows his stuff. He's
But, like,
let's
what is
take
y-
it
what
down a
is-
step
oh,
for my
really?
mom. She's getting old.
See, I always see that as a challenge.
I know, because everything in life is a
Yeah,
challenge.
because
to you.
we're gonna do
Yeah.
worship in a couple weeks. Me, you, and Jaden.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some songs in there that would have been like probably no problem for me
Mm-hmm.
10 years ago.
Yeah, you just
and
want
now
to
I'm
strain
like,
your voice for
I'm
fun.
like, man, I don't know if I can do that, but I should be able to do that. So I'm going to try to do that.
Make it
because you are competitive and
Yeah.
I am not.
Mhm.
That is why.
Such an 8.
Oh man! All right.
Totally.
So Jeff, you were just kind of there, like observing.
Yeah, I was
Just
checking
overseeing.
in. I couldn't be there all weekend, so came up Saturday afternoon and got to eat and go to the evening session, which was really good. Really
Yeah.
good. It's just sweet. I think all the kids that were there were serious about being there and engaged in the worship.
Is
and-
a youth retreat kind of like the same formula it was 25 years ago?
I would not know. What
It's
was
like-
that formula?
It's like you get there, there's like 3 hours of free time, dinner, an evening session, some small groups, maybe some campfire, then you
Okay.
go to bed, and then
no
you wake
campfire. They were on a burn. No burn.
up. Okay.
It was such a
Oh,
bummer.
because it was so
Yeah.
dry.
Yeah, that was one of the
Yeah.
few counties. up
All
in-
right,
Yeah,
well.
but besides that,
It's like tried and true,
I,
man.
I would say template.
yeah, it's a template.
Yeah, it's a template, and it's a good template. Like
Yeah, it's perfect.
You gotta ease in.
Mhm.
You
Stands
know,
the test of time. They've been doing youth retreats the same way since my dad was in Youth for Christ in the 1970s.
Oh my gosh.
oh man.
Yeah,
Same
it's-
template.
Yeah, there's.
Yeah.
It kind of does work, but warms everybody up, and then
Maybe different variations of the template. Like I know for this year, I feel like every year that when my kids were in high school ministry, when my kids were in Merge, they were always given an hour to be alone with God. And that could be
Yes.
roaming the property and, sitting with a journal
Yeah.
or whatever.
When they first got there.
at some point, I don't know
Okay.
when that
Mhm.
occurred,
Yeah.
but my kids would come home and tell me
Yeah.
about it. And Jaden, of course, would always connect with God when he was out in nature because
Yeah.
that's who Jaden is.
Yeah.
So this year, they kind of gave
I just need to look at the birds.
Exactly. They gave you options.
It's gonna land
Perfect.
with Jeff every
I
They
time.
had breakout
I love it.
sessions for that hour alone with God. And
Yeah.
you could be alone with a journal somewhere, or you could go with Jaden on a guided nature walk,
Yeah.
or you could stay back for an hour of worship if you connect with God through musical worship. So,
Yeah.
there's variations on that template, but
Yep,
the
yep.
template works.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the whole theme was cultivating a relationship with God.
Yeah.
He wants to be in relationship with us, and there's not a formula to that. It is a pursuit, and it is personal, and it is exploring how God's made us,
Yeah.
so that we can do that. And so the time was set up for people to kind of experiment with some of
Great.
that. It was cool.
I remember going on these Youth for Christ retreats with my dad in the 80s, and the songs are much different.
First of all, weren't you going in the 90s? How young were you when you were going
Like
on these
little.
youth retreats? Really?
Well, I mean, like he would like lead them.
Like a
And so
tiny
I-
child?
Yeah, I would
Not a
go.
teenager.
5,
Okay.
I
6,
wasn't like a
7.
part of the program. I was
Okay.
just there with like high
Thanks-
school kids,
thanks
and
for
I was
clarifying.
like 4.
Yeah.
But I remember going there, and at the time, I was like, "Why are we singing these songs?" Because it was like I like apples and bananas.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
Classic.
I went to eat 8
Yeah.
apples and bananas.
Yeah.
I was like, "These are high school kids."
Opals and Bononos.
Yeah.
For me,
Yeah.
I was like 6. I was like, perfect.
Yeah.
But for the high school kids, that's what they sang at the retreat.
I think that is also true of every generation is they love their throwback songs.
Oh, so that would have been cool
That
to
would
do
have
this.
been cool, probably. It would have been like ironic cool to be like singing a kid's song when you're a teenager. I don't know. I feel like we did that with like VeggieTales. My generation did that. Like, let's take this kids programming
Yeah.
and let's make it ironically cool.
No.
We didn't really have
I
any
didn't like
songs like that this time.
Did we? No. Well, not that we like sang
Yeah.
as a group. No,
We had one this
actually,
weekend
though,
at church.
Saturday I did. Or not Saturday, Sunday. You weren't there on Sunday.
And what happened?
I felt spontaneously led because we were singing a song about the firm foundation and things like that. I just kind of brought the music down and had everyone sing "The Wise Man Built His House Upon the Rock."
Yeah.
Yes.
And like I'd say probably 75% of the room knew that song.
Really?
Knew the hand motions.
That's a
and we
throwback.
did a throwback.
Love it.
Look at
Love
that.
it. Yeah.
The Holy Spirit was like, don't forget this part of the template.
We did that.
Throw it
Yeah, you
back.
got to do that.
Love it.
We did that at church too.
You did?
We sang Oceans.
Oh, yes, I heard about that.
Was a throwback.
I heard about that from a couple of gals on the prayer team who were thrilled. Thrilled.
I maintain. Well, first of all, I don't know why worship songs like wear out so fast.
No,
It's-
I don't understand it. Like
Well,
Oceans
I
is
do
great.
understand it.
Some should, but there are things. Yeah,
Yeah.
Oceans is great. And you know what was weird about that song was as I was listening to it, I was like, and this is me, it's stupid. It was the first time I recognized that song was directly about that story.
That's the first time I noticed it too.
Never connected with me, but
Yeah.
obviously the words totally right from scripture. Right there.
Yeah. I didn't know it either. I just knew it was a
Never
great
occurred
song.
to me.
It's like so much going on in Oceans.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a phenomenal song.
it really, really was
Very
good.
well written. And the
I wish
reason it gets
people-
old is because maybe we run it into the ground. Maybe it's on
No,
us
people still
as
like it.
worship leaders.
People still like it.
Or
Yeah.
maybe it's also on the radio for not having enough variety on the radio
Yeah.
and also playing a role in running songs into the ground.
Yeah.
Shots fired.
At who?
The radio.
Oh, okay. Well, good news. People don't listen to the radio anymore.
Is that true?
Yeah. Here's what's new with me. Milo's in flag football, and my daughter has started. I don't know who taught her this. I have my vote. I could vote, but I'll keep that to myself. But my sister was there at Milo's football game, and they call her Tots. Her name is Tara. They call her Tots. And it was cold out, and so Lou she had her coat on, but she was complaining that she was cold, and so Tots was like, "Let me put your hood up." And Lou was like, she put her hood up, and Lou just was like, "No, I don't like it," or whatever. And then Lou like marched over to me, and she goes, "Tots is driving me crazy." I was like, "Who taught you how to say that in that context?"
Oh,
and all she's
man.
trying to do is help you. Like, what's with the attitude?
Driving me crazy.
Yes.
Tots is driving me crazy.
You're in the fun years. The fun years.
That is funny. Like, she obviously heard that
Yeah.
somewhere. And you're like, where did she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We're in the throes of potty training right now with her.
How's it going?
I think it's going way better than it went with the boys. Like,
Yeah, girls always learn faster.
That tends to be how it is.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So,
At least in my experience.
She motivated?
yeah, she likes getting It's perfect timing, Halloween.
Oh,
hey.
So anytime she's like, I got to go potty, she
Yeah.
gets candy.
Oh.
Even if it's at 10 p.m. apparently. That's
You
what
guys
happened
don't
last
like
night.
throw it out.
The candy?
I was always like, all right, we had fun. Let's throw it out.
What?
Yes. Let's throw it out. Let's get rid of it. We'll save a couple pieces, but let's throw it out.
Shut up.
That is insane. Why would you throw it out? I've heard of people like eating it. Like I eat my kids' candy. Like that's what kind of we do. But you just throw it out.
It's entirely too much candy. It's entirely too much.
Well, yeah, but you eat the stuff that's good.
No, because then Christmas comes and guess what? More candy.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
a season. But Angie has this awesome recipe for shortbread cookies.
Oh, those are great.
And you take
I haven't had
all
hers,
of the
but-
Halloween candy that didn't get eaten,
Oh.
and you mush it all up.
What?
And you put it in a big. You
Like, are you mixing fruit candy and
No.
Okay.
What?
No, that's gross.
Yeah.
The chocolate candy.
The chocolate. So like
Oh,
the
yeah.
Twix, the Kit
Perfect.
Kats, the Reese's,
Okay.
and you put it in a big bag and you bang it all out, and then it's all small
Yeah.
pieces, and you put that on top of your shortbread cookie.
Oh.
It is delish.
Okay.
See,
well,
Maron?
that's good
See what-
use.
see what you did?
So you
That's
recycle
good
it,
use.
and then you gotta get rid of like the Skittles
Yeah.
and Twizzlers, and
Yeah, we handed out candy this year.
Oh, you
and,
did?
I made a special trip to the international grocery store to buy a big bag of Mexican candies because
What is that?
it's good. And not the spicy kind. A lot of Mexican candy has like
Spicy candy.
chile and tahini
Oh, yeah.
and things like
Oh.
that. But I just got the basically chocolate varieties of Mexican candy, but just to be different because everyone goes somewhere and gets Twix. Twix,
it's
Twix,
all-
Yeah,
Twix.
but that's
It's everywhere.
that's good. That's fine.
So is Mexican
But
candy.
that is no. Maybe. I don't know. I can't say for sure.
It was
but
good.
it's
you
like
have to try it first.
like
they wiped out the bowl.
I don't know how it ended up in there. Maybe I didn't see who hands out what, but one of my kids' buckets had a piece of French bread in it. So, did somebody hand out French bread?
It's
had
better
to
than
say
an
that
apple with a razor blade.
Right when I
but
took
not
a sip
much
of
better.
coffee. A
What?
piece of French
Yeah,
bread.
was somebody like, yeah, trick or treat. Yeah.
I don't get it.
I don't either, but is
Maybe
that
they-
like Mexican candy?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Well, no, I was actually this year I was hoping we would have some left over because I didn't want to get stuck with the boring stuff. I wanted if I
Yeah.
was gonna
Yeah.
have candy left over,
It's like toothbrushes.
I would
People used to
rather
put
have
toothbrushes
some fun
in.
candies, some Mexican candies, but they took it all.
My neighbor across the street used to put toothbrushes in people's bags.
I do appreciate that. I
Yeah,
also
but
appreciated
No,
the neighbor
kids
that
don't.
gave me pennies,
That's
like
the thing
because
you,
it was
you
different.
take out and you throw it down
Yeah,
the street.
it's not about you. It's not
No.
about what you as an adult appreciates. It's what the kids want.
I appreciated it as a kid. A new toothbrush. I grew up poor, you know.
Yeah.
Well, so
A
did
new,
I.
a new toothbrush was a nice gift.
Not when there's Skittles and Snickers involved. All right, Jeff, welcome. We need to hear about you. I know you said you've been on the pod once. I don't know if you introduced yourself, but you're definitely in a different role since
Yeah,
then.
that's right.
So,
I was pastor of operations. And
yeah, now you've moved to Discipleship, which kind of includes adults, kids, and students.
that's right.
So I wanted to just take a moment and just tell us a little bit about Discipleship at Grace. If somebody's not connected, which some friends of the pod don't attend
Yeah,
Grace
right,
Church
right.
at all. So if somebody's not super connected, what would you want them to know about Discipleship at Grace? What's some of the values of those ministries, and then kind of just give us a picture of what's going on.
Yeah, thanks, Tyler. Well, first of all, our mission at Grace is to make disciples and launch them into the mission of God, make disciples of Jesus. And I think most churches would say that they're about making disciples, and I think that happens. I think that happens through ministry. I think that happens as people gather, kids, students, adults, and various kind of groups of different kinds. And a lot of times that involves studying together. It might involve worship. It might involve exploring material together. And all that's part of growing. All that's part of
Mhm.
becoming a disciple of Jesus, learning about him and learning and walking together. And that's what a lot of our ministry emphasis is right now. We've got men's groups and women's groups. We've got traditional small groups. We've got groups for moms. And of course, we've got our kids and students programming. And it's all designed to help people kind of dig into what it means to be a follower of Jesus.
Yeah.
But I think beyond that, our real desire is that people would grow and learn in more intentional relationships. I think there's a certain level that you can get to by coming to a class, by doing some activities. But I think that as we are engaged in relationship, whether that's a one-on-one relationship or a smaller group of a couple of people, or just two friends who decide together that they really want to go deeper in their faith and relationship with Jesus, that's what we're really moving towards. There was a phase at Grace about a decade ago where we had a ministry emphasis that we called the Way of Discipleship, and it was a very, very intentional, very, very prescriptive, time-bound, intentional 2 to 3 year relationship to go over the 11 practices of the Way of Discipleship.
Yeah.
And it was really good. There was a lot of really good things about it. There are some reasons why it kind of disappeared a little bit, but the best of it is what we want to bring back, because discipleship, I think, is really about imitating Jesus.
Yeah.
And we were designed to do that. I think we were designed to do that in relationship. That's what Jesus did. I mean, he picked these 12 guys to follow him. And then there were some women who joined that group, and they followed Jesus very intentionally, and they followed him very intently. And so we want to take the relationships that we have. We want to help people engage together and really grow. And so we're looking at ways practically, sort of tangibly, from curriculum and material, but also how do we make those relationships that many ways already exist, but say, let's be more, let's really take this to heart and do this together. And one other thing I really hope for our church, as I think this is throughout Jesus' teaching, it's throughout the scripture. We see it in the book of Psalms over and over again, how one generation teaches the other generation. And so I would love for Grace to be known as a place where the older generations have taken on the mantle of, it is my duty, it is my obligation, and it's a privilege, honestly, to reach into a younger person's life and say, come follow me. I'm trying to follow Jesus, and let's do this together. And so that every person in their 50s, 60s, 70s would say, hey, I own this, and I want this to be what we do. And all the people, younger people at Grace, would come here and say, I believe there's someone here who wants to walk with me and wants to do life with me. And I long for that to be part of our culture here.
Amen.
And I just think that would be revolutionary.
Yeah.
I thought about that concept a couple weeks ago. I think it was the second week of the Christ Above All series, when Barry was talking about us being planted together like trees and growing together like trees. I'd say maybe 3 or 4 years ago at another youth retreat, Jaden and I were there doing what we always do. We were there leading worship for the kids. And the kids went off, I think this was a winter retreat. I think they went off skiing, and we are not about that life. And so my son and I stayed back.
You're about nature, but not that kind of nature.
And we went for a walk. We went for a nature walk, just my son and I. We brought our hiking boots, and we were, I want to say, higher ground at that campground over there.
Yeah.
But we were walking around, and I saw this like little riverbed, and the walls of the riverbed were eroded. And I asked my son, what's that about? Like, do you think the water was really high at one point? And why do you look at this tiny little creek, and why are the shores so eroded? And he said, oh, that's because there's no old growth. All there was new grass, fresh, young grass, because it was kind of the front of the building. And I guess aesthetically that looks really nice. You know, you're driving by and you see this freshly crisp cut lawn, but there were no old growth. All the older trees had been uprooted or chopped down, and therefore there was nothing to hold the riverbank or the side of it together. And I feel like God just gave me a picture that has stuck with me ever since then, that without the generations, and especially the older generations whose roots go deep, a shallow church without its older generation just erodes. And so, yeah, I feel that to my core. That is what I desperately desire, that we would be a church rooted together, that young trees would be taking root and old trees would be keeping it together and nourishing the soil and all of that. Yeah, we share that vision.
Picture. I love it. So cool.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Have you ever skied?
Okay.
It's gonna be a good one.
I grew up kind of poor, so we did not ever go skiing as a family. However, there was a hill off the side of an expressway.
Oh no!
And you could,
Oh no!
you
No!
go rent skis to just go down this hill off the side of the expressway. So the one time in my life that skis were attached to my feet
Was close to a road?
was right off the highway. Yes, that's
Did
what
that
you
a
did.
chairlift?
That's what you
Yeah. Yeah, how'd you get up? Take your skis
A rope
off and
tow.
climb up the...
Yeah.
did. Was there a rope? I don't
Oh,
even
yeah,
know.
there's probably like a rope tow.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Tow
That's what
rope.
I remember.
Classic.
I remember feeling like my ankles were gonna snap off. That's what I remember.
How old were you?
Maybe I don't know, 12. I don't know. Again, this happened one time in my entire
and ever
life.
since then, can't trust
Not
it.
about that life.
It's rough on the ankles, that's for sure. Boots.
Oh, yeah, I think we've got some big ideas for discipleship, and we talked a lot about this at the leadership retreat, what we want to see in the next couple of years, and I participated in Way of Discipleship, both had somebody that invested in me, and I was able to invest in other people, and it is a fantastic model. It just becomes so crazy to like, even just like managing 1 million people's schedules, and can you meet with, and so I hope that we can nail it down of like what a new or a fresh vision of something like that that's in kind of all encompassing. So, you said it, Jeff. It's like part of it is one-on-one discipleship, part of it is small group, part of it is large group, part of it is between you and God. Like there's all kinds of stuff that's incorporated in one's discipleship, and so we're working on it, and I'm excited for the future of it.
And
here.
you are the man for the job.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You are. I feel like there's a lot of people at Grace who don't know that before you were pastor of operations, you were pastor of something else, and before that, you were pastor of something else, and you've
Made
been
the
here a
rounds.
while.
Been around. It's been
You've
around.
been here a while. You've been
Want
around, and the
everyone's
one
job.
thing that's clear about you is that through all of it, your heart beats for discipleship. That's what wakes you up in the morning.
Yeah. I think part of it is I think I longed for someone to invest that way in me, and so I think oftentimes what we look for is the thing we wanted ourselves, and the thing we feel passionate about, and so I think it'd be just so impactful for who we are and who we want to become, and we're poised well for it. So yeah, I'm excited about it, and I think the new app we're working on, Tyler's gonna be a big part of it. So what you and your team are working on? Or?
Yeah, I'm excited for it. It's gonna hopefully be a pretty prominent tool for just kind of keeping all of the stuff that you care about at Grace Church, the content, classes, groups, serving, all the stuff that you care about, all in one
Even
spot.
prayer.
So, even prayer, yeah,
That's true.
we're excited about that. All right, since Barry's not here, I thought it'd be best if we just like speak for him. So
That always
talk about
works.
his
Yeah.
sermon. Yeah, he's always really proud of us when we're like, "Here's the big idea," and he's like, "That's not what I wanted to communicate." But so we're back into Matthew after basically taking a couple months off. So he said this is going to be part 2 of Matthew series called Follow Me, but this is week 1 of a mini series within a mega series. So if you're keeping track, this is like the 7th Matthew series we're in. But the mini series is going to be focusing on Peter. So I think we're going to do that for the next couple of weeks. This is primarily focused on one story where Peter is called to the water. They're in the boat, and it's in Matthew 14, and they see Jesus walking on water. And Peter, for some reason, gets out of the boat in dark waters during a storm and wants to go walk towards Jesus. So I want to just give context for anybody who hasn't heard it yet, the sermon, but I encourage you to go see Barry's sermon. And as we've gone through Matthew, one of the casualties of the Christ Above All series is that we basically didn't do 3 planned weeks of the Matthew series. So I don't know. I don't know what all we would have talked about. Whether we would have talked about all the stuff that came right before this Peter story or not. But this story in and of itself in Matthew sits in a very, I think, interesting or strategic place to really dig into the passage. And so the scene of Peter walking on water lands right after, like I started reading 14, it lands right after John the Baptist is beheaded. I don't know if the writer of Matthew is like chronological. I don't know. Maybe you guys do.
In chronological order?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it lands right after John the Baptist is beheaded, and then they feed 5,000 people with seemingly not enough food, and then this story happens. So,
which is also the same in the Gospel of Mark. The story of
order.
Jesus walking on the water does come right after the feeding of the masses.
So
yeah, and he says immediately. So we do know chronologically that this story does come right after.
Okay.
Yeah.
That one.
So as I have been trained to do at Grace Church, I'm like, all right, how would I have been feeling? Say that this is all chronological. How would I have been feeling if I was a teenage disciple, right? Because these guys are teens, right?
I've never really considered
Teens.
Peter's age. I was not surprised to hear Barry say that, and if he said it, I know he has reason to say it. But I know that we assume Peter was married because he had a mother-in-law. And so how young was he when he got married? We don't know any of those things, but he's certainly exhibiting teen-like enthusiasm.
Yeah, so I'm assuming and imagining these guys in the boat are pretty emotional. I mean, John the Baptist, he was probably well-known between these guys, and he just got beheaded. He just died. So they're probably like roller coaster of emotions, and then they just fed 5,000 people with food that they didn't think they had enough of, but they saw this miraculous thing. And so I'm imagining these guys just being super exhausted. We just did this amazing thing. We're far from land, fighting heavy waves, and the text says that the wind was against them. At least in the NIV it says that. But the wind is against them, and the boat is being tormented. Like the wind is like basically their enemy. And these guys were like, at least some of them were expert fishermen. Like they should have known what to do in the event of a storm, right? Like they know what to do in a boat if the water becomes crazy. So it was either like super emotional time. They're just trying to they're exhausted, or it was a crazy storm. But they have the skills, I would think, to navigate this. But to get out of this, they were freaking out. Their strength wasn't sufficient. And then that is when they see Jesus walking on the water. So all of that plays into what we're going to talk about now. So Barry said that Matthew is the only gospel that takes this story basically one step further and captures what happens with Peter when he walks on the water and then sinks. So my first question to you guys is, why do you think Matthew did that? Why do you think Matthew expanded on this story about Jesus walking on water and to include all of the stuff about Peter, and other gospel writers did not do that? Why do you think he did that?
This is something we can't know for sure, but there are scholars out there who have their theories. One of those theories is Peter essentially wrote the book of Mark, where Mark was the scribe for Peter. And Peter didn't want to self-aggrandize, that he wanted to put the focus on Jesus and not talk about how he did this cool thing, walking on water. John is very different from the Synoptic Gospels. Luke doesn't talk about a lot of things, and so we aren't too surprised about the John and the Luke not mentioning it. But at least one source that I read said that since Peter would have been the, essentially, I guess, ghostwriter of the book of Mark, the Gospel of Mark, he wouldn't have wanted to He wouldn't have wanted to paint
Man, times
himself
have
in such a
changed.
grand light that,
Times
look
have
at me,
changed.
I walked
Well,
on water.
the thing about that is, though, like, he doesn't look that. I mean, it's not like Peter did a great thing.
Yeah. The Gospel of Mark, if Peter wrote it, it tells a little bit more about Peter's denial of Christ.
Yeah.
So he's like self-deprecating in that way, where he talks about his epic failures. But I don't know. I think it'd be pretty cool to say you actually walked on water.
Yeah, and you can include the epic failure of sinking.
At least according to one scholar.
Anyways.
That may have been the reason why Mark doesn't mention it specifically, although Mark does mention this occurrence and this story almost exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The fact that Barry keeps reiterating that Matthew is a discipleship manual.
Yeah.
I was thinking perhaps Matthew includes it because while the focus is, Jesus and what Jesus does, what we get to see with Peter is how a person responds to it. And so we can put ourselves in the story and wonder, what would I have done?
Mm-hmm.
How would I have handled this? And having both the miracle of Peter walking on the water and sort of his failure of taking his eyes off Jesus just allows us to see, hey, I have those moments.
Yeah.
That are like, I'm on it.
Yeah, man.
I'm walking the path. And then the next moment, I'm blowing it. And it's like, I can see me in that story. And if part of his intent is to put ourselves in and to see what it looks like to actually follow Jesus, this story of Peter gives us a great picture of that.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too, Jeff. I was like, man, this is the architecture of what discipleship kind of looks like in reality. It's like Jesus speaks, so he's like, yeah, come on out, come on. Disciples of his are, so the architecture is Jesus speaks, disciples obey, we might get scared, we cry out to God, Jesus or God rescues us, sometimes we need correction, and then we worship him. Like that's like the architecture of like what discipleship could or should our regular disciples look like. So Jesus says, yes, come. Peter obeys. Peter gets scared, sinks, says, Lord, save me. Jesus, it says, immediately reaches down, grabs him. Jesus corrects him. You have little faith. And then he gets back in the boat, and everybody worships Jesus.
Yeah, I might add a dimension to that.
What?
I just want us to be careful that we note that Jesus didn't say, Peter, come unto me. Peter had a crazy idea.
Yeah.
And then Jesus is like, okay. Peter had a crazy idea, and Jesus said, come. Right? It was Peter's idea to do this wild thing.
Include that part then.
Right. I think I do include that part. I include that in the story of my own discipleship, where maybe I might think I know, what might be best for me, or what, if you're really, oh my goodness, how many times have I, quote unquote, laid a fleece before the Lord? Lord, if this is really you, if you're really in this, then XYZ, fill in the blank. Yeah. That's what Peter was doing. If it's really you, Lord, then call me on out there, and I'm going to walk on water, if it's really you, right?
And if Barry's interpretation, because he brought us back to what Jesus says later, which is, basically, why did you have such little faith? But not in a demeaning way. But why did you not believe could you not believe for something bigger? But you tried, kind of a pat on the back, an attaboy. Yeah,
you're almost there.
You're almost there. And so it's like he does acknowledge Peter's desire and Peter's effort, even if it was not, fully.
Yeah. There. I feel like history. Barry's kind of said it. History rewards the guys who stayed in the boat.
You think?
Yeah. Like
what? No one's talking about them.
Exactly. Nobody's like, those guys. Like Jesus told him have a little faith. Like he told, Barry talked about it. It's like nobody's really talking about those guys. I feel like I would have totally 100% stayed in the boat.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm not. First of all,
I don't think who would have thought to get out of the boat. Like
Jeff,
my greatest nightmare.
You are not a loyal listener to this particular podcast, but those who are should know of Tyler's deep, dark fear and loathing of the dark waters.
If there's a storm, I don't know why you would be in a boat.
Just
and then
the dark waters in general.
to step out into the water.
If
Literal or
can't
metaphoric
see
dark
what's
water?
happening
Both.
underneath the surface,
okay.
he's not
We're not
going.
swimming in
Yeah.
anything but a pool.
That's right.
Yeah.
Got it.
No, give me a break. I would be in that boat and I'd be fine with history never mentioning my failure. Like, you know.
But also your win, because there are two human individuals that we know of who walked on water, Jesus
Yeah.
and Peter.
Well, yeah,
That's a win.
that is a win.
The
I
dude
don't
walked
think
on water. Not
I
just
know.
like
Would you have
still
gotten out
water,
of the boat though?
Not just still water.
Would you have gotten out of the boat?
Gale force winds,
You
wave,
would.
wave swelling water.
Yeah,
no,
you,
you know
you-
I wouldn't.
Yeah,
no,
there's no
you're,
way.
You're not
There's
getting out
no
of
I
the
don't even know why you're asking me.
boat. So I was sitting next to friend of the pod, and she gave us some pretty interesting questions, and it was great sitting by her at church. And I saw her writing down a bunch of stuff, and then she basically was like, as soon as church ended, she said, I sent you guys a bunch of questions for the podcast. So I've got some of them here. Shout out to Nancy for sending these in. Told her I'd bring them to the pod and we'd talk about it. So the first question she had, what do you think was going on in Peter's life and stage of faith that walking on water happened in this moment? Why this timing and why this miracle?
I think after hearing Barry's description of Peter, especially how young he was, that's one of the first things that comes to my mind when I think of that question. What was going on in his life? What was going on in his faith? He was young.
Yeah.
He was young. And he grew up on the water. And so I wonder, in my holy imagination, I wonder if he always thought about doing that. Like you
Really?
had something like that? Like I've always thought about flying. Like what would that feel like to just soar through the air? I look up at hawks and I'm like, man, that's got to feel so cool. And you don't look like you're afraid of flying. Like you're so confident gliding through the air. Yeah. I wonder if little Peter on the water, growing up, in a fisherman's family, becoming a fisherman, I wonder if that's something that already existed in his wild imagination.
Oh, yeah.
And then he'd already seen Jesus walk on the water once before, right? When they were freaked out and Jesus came and calmed the storm. And so here he is again. He's walking on the water. And then I wonder if Peter just, in his youthful enthusiasm, saw his chance and took it. I don't know. This was also the same, like Sea of Galilee is the same as, what is it, Lake Gennesaret or something like that? Gennesaret.
Look at your iPad.
Yeah.
I'm looking at
Your
my
iPad will
iPad.
tell you.
It's where Peter was called.
To be a disciple.
Yeah, so there's already a relationship with Jesus and this particular body of water. And a miracle. That whole cast your nets, catch all the fish, like that happened on this body of water and in Peter's boat. He's already seen Jesus perform a miracle on this body of water. So I don't know. I would think that those faith building blocks, I guess,
for
throughout
sure.
Peter's life may have led to this ultimate, pinnacle moment of I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this. We're going to see.
Yeah. I wonder what the sense of competition was amongst the disciples. Like, were they trying to prove themselves to Jesus? Were they trying to
probably.
were they trying to prove themselves to each other?
Like I'm a better disciple.
Yeah, I'm a better disciple, or I'm a
Yeah, we do know there was some of that with what was it, the Sons of Thunder?
yeah.
Who's going to sit?
James and John.
Yeah,
right?
who's going to sit at your right hand?
Yeah,
It's going to
yeah.
be me, right?
And we'll see. I think it's is it next week we get to the Transfiguration? It's either
2
next
weeks from now.
2 weeks from now. So we see it's Peter, James, and John are pretty tight.
Yeah.
Three of them. And is there some competition of that? Or also, maybe that's kind of like negative on Peter, but it also may be that he was inspired. He saw Jesus do something and he thought, why can't I do that? Like, why?
Yeah.
You have less fear when you are young, typically. And I having just come off of the Merge retreat, there's a couple of examples of that I see. The one that I saw very vividly, shout out to loyal listener Mina, who is on the worship team and was at the Merge retreat. He hosted one of the breakout sessions as a senior in high school, hosted one of the breakouts and led worship for a group of his peers. which is a terrifying thing to do, if you ask me. It's easier for me to sing in front of total strangers than it is to sing in front of my peers and people who know me. It's just a very intimidating thing. Not to mention, the kid's only been singing for about 3 years tops and just taught himself to play keyboard in June of this year. In June of this year. And he's like, you know what? I could do this. I can lead an hour-long worship set complete with multiple songs and scriptures woven in and prayers woven in. And
Don't act like you're a big shot.
I feel like only when you're that young do you think,
I can do that.
I learned piano 2 months ago. I could totally do this. I could totally do this.
I wonder if, like to this point, we just said Peter just watched Jesus feed 5,000 people, right? Mm-hmm. So, like, I wonder if there was any part of it that was he'd seen Jesus, I think, heal diseases, feed 5,000 people. I think he probably had seen him cast out demons by this point. Mm-hmm. So he had seen some, like, really intense stuff. I wonder if he was like, maybe it's like there had been nothing in his life really, like he had seen it, he'd observed it, but there was nothing really that ever like required his obedience. And he observed Jesus doing amazing things, but there wasn't really anything to that point that was personally like participatory for him. Maybe because it's not just like, oh, we see Jesus walking on water. Like to this point, Peter hadn't like participated in the divineness or the miracles or whatever, and maybe he was just like, I want to do that. I want to participate in the ministry. I want to participate in the whatever it is you're doing, and that I just watched you feed these people. I want to do it too. So like, I wonder if there was any part of that, because he later tells Jesus, like, you are the Messiah. You're the Son of God. And I wonder if that was only possible because he walked on water himself. And he's like, I know that you're the Son of God because I was able to do this with you for a second.
Yeah. It's interesting, if Peter did write the Gospel of Mark, in this Gospel of Mark and the way that it recounts this story, chapter 6, verse 51 says that Jesus climbed into the boat and the wind stopped. And the disciples were totally amazed, for they still didn't understand the significance of the miracle of the loaves. Their hearts were too hard to take it in.
Yeah.
And so even if he is seeing a miracle, a massive miracle on a grand scale performed right before this, somebody wrote this gospel saying their hearts were too hard to take it in. And it's interesting to think that may have been Peter himself saying, we still didn't get it. Yeah, we just saw the miracle of the loaves, but our hearts were too hard to take it in. So we were amazed to see him walking on water.
It's kind of cool. Like, I don't know if they, at this point, it doesn't sound like from that commentary in Mark that they would have had any sense that the things that they saw Jesus doing, they were going to do at some point to represent him. But as we know from Acts, when we start to see Peter, like he's a rock star. Like as far as the miracles through the power of Jesus that he was able to perform. And this is like his little first taste of being part of something supernatural that was beyond him. I don't know that he had any sense of what was to come. Yeah. But it's what we get the ability to be able to see the whole story. So we get to see, hey, this is where he started, which is actually super, now that we're talking about it, like that should be super encouraging to us. Yeah. Yeah. You know, just a little bit of faith can yield some pretty amazing things. And what could happen if we believe for more?
Also, we do crazy things at 3 a.m. And it was 3 a.m. And they were rowing hard against the wind.
Why would you ever do that? Why would you ever do that?
I wonder if he was a little delirious. Yeah. It's 3 a.m. You know, that Jesus had sent them across the lake. Yeah. He sent them on their way. I don't know how long it took to cross the lake. Maybe because of the storm or whatever, it took longer than they thought.
Barry showed that map. It's a pretty big lake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So 3 a.m, they're out there rowing
I'm with
hard.
Him, man. And the sea is chaos. The monsters of the sea are chaos. They deserve God's rebuke. Like, there's no way I'm going out there at 3 a.m. Nancy also asks, Peter could have asked Jesus to help them, but instead he asked to walk on turbulent water. What does that tell us about what Peter was asking for, and was he seeking more than a rescue from despair? I thought this question was incredible. Like, if he was a teenager and he sees these roaring waves or feels them, he doesn't ask to be made safe. He asks to come out of the boat into the water. I just think, like, if everybody of ancient time or whatever views the sea as chaos, he's basically asking, instead of, hey, can you save us? It's like, can I step into the chaos with you? Can I step into, you're clearly mastering this chaos by walking on it. Can I step out and do that with you? And later, Barry said it, later he's the guy that's, what are they? Catholics call him the first pope, and he's the rock of the church. And it wasn't, and Jesus wasn't like, when Peter was like, what did he say? God, if that's you, tell me to come and I'll come out, or whatever he says. It wasn't like Jesus was like, no, stay there. No, what are you, crazy? He was like, no, come on out.
Yeah.
Basically, like, yeah, you want to participate in this, come on out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
I even wonder, again, it was 3 a.m. Is there a lightheartedness to any of this?
No.
If I'm Jesus
There's
walking
nothing
on the
funny about
water,
any of this.
and I'm like, you want to do this? Okay. I wish I could see the look on Jesus's face. Obviously, he's standing close enough to Peter to immediately reach down, and save him as he starts to sink. But I want to know the camaraderie that had already been built up between them. They're performing miracles, or Jesus is performing miracles. They're with each other all of the time, around the clock. Here we are, 3 a.m, and Jesus is saying, come.
I feel like
Okay,
Jesus would have to
come.
know how mad I would be if I was, like, freaking out for my life, and he's, like, joking.
I read
Like,
this
I'm about
story,
to die, and he's like, come on out.
I read this story, and I like the warm-heartedness that Barry brought to this part of the story, the you of little faith part. Not, I'm so tired of you. Why don't you have enough faith by now? Not that, but, you were so close. You were so close, man. Come on up. You of little faith.
That was really cool.
It's interesting that Peter didn't say, hey, if you tell me it's all right, or like, hey, I'll come out there if you promise I won't fall, or if you can promise me that we're all going to be safe, I'll try to come out there. Like, he was just like, if it's you, I will step out of this boat because I believe I can do this. Is that significant to you guys at all, that he didn't ask for, like, any guarantees or promises or anything? He was just like, if that's you, that's the only thing I need to know, and that I'll step out.
He says, tell me to come. So he does.
He does ask Jesus to do something.
Yes, but that's what I love, because it's not, like you said, Tyler, it's not like it's neither I'm just going to get out and do this, nor is it all these conditions. He doesn't lay out, it's simple. If you tell me, I will come. That's pretty instructive, really. Like, okay, it's okay to ask, for assurance, or not even assurance, but just like, is this really what you want me to? Is it okay to do this?
Yeah.
And then if he says it, to do it, and man, the more we talk about it, the more I respect what Peter did. It's just, it's crazy, but it's cool too.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Like I've already established, you would never catch me doing this, stepping out of a boat into the sea, scary storm. So I was trying to think, like, okay, what would be the equivalent of, like, what are the seas? What are the chaotic things in modern day, or like what would apply to me that would basically be like, hey, if it's you, I'll just try to keep my eyes on you and I'll obey, but I'll step out of the boat, so to speak. And so, in our modern world, what are the seas that we're trying to stay afloat on, if the seas are symbols of chaos? So, for example, I was thinking through this for myself, and I thought, for me, it's anxiety, polarization and division, and then, like, my own calling or identity. So, if this were me saying this, it'd be like, God, if it's you and you want me to stay in relationship with these people that, like, make Christians or hate Christianity or whatever, if that's you and you want me to do this, tell me to come. And I just got to keep my eyes on you, because if I take my eyes off you, I will fail, right? God, if it's you and you want me to believe that I'm supposed to be a pastor despite my sin and my past, just tell me to come and I'll step out of the boat and I'll obey. Like, what are there other examples maybe in your own lives of where it's like, God, if it's you, tell me to come and I will do it. I got to keep my eyes on you, but I'll step out of the boat.
That's my life.
Yeah?
Yeah, that is every couple of years something crazy comes along. And I have to say, God, if it's you, I'll move to Central Indiana. Lord, if it's you, I'll start preaching. If it's you, I'll go to school, even though I haven't been in school in 25 years. If it's you, I feel like I'm constantly doing that. Constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of sort of macro milestone life things that feel like it's just like, yeah, are you telling me to come? Because this feels, it's not the plan. It's not the plan, the thought you had. I think some of the micro things, though, are probably, for me, like relationally, particularly with either family members or people that I've gotten to know, and we get to a point in a relationship where if things are going to go to the next level, that's going to take a certain amount of vulnerability on my part and a certain amount of willingness to whatever comes back at me, to go there and be with them as I allow them to kind of know me better, and that feels risky. And that feels like, I think I'd rather stay in the boat.
Yeah.
That sounds exhausting, and it sounds depleting, and yet there's a thrill in it too. You know, like,
Yeah. I think other people's examples are job changes, or even like, I could think of a couple of small group leaders that this is a big stepping out of a boat for them. Who am I to be a leader of other people? Who am I to be a small group leader? And teenagers are intimidating. And, well, Lord, if it's you, if you're calling me to do this, if you're calling me out of the boat, if it's you, then I'll do it.
What do you think this story says about the role failure plays in our spiritual development? Because, I don't know, like from a human perspective, ultimately, like, it was amazing. Peter got to walk on water, but he also, like, I don't know, he probably felt embarrassed or something until Jesus rescued him, and then they all worshiped him. But, like, I would feel like, man, I did almost have it, and I didn't have strong enough faith, right? Like, that there's a sense of, like, embarrassment or something about that. So, like, he didn't walk on water like he wanted, like he thought he was going to.
I wonder what the scene was when he got back in the boat.
Yeah, you.
Yeah. Were the other guys just totally razzing him? Like, were they laughing at him? What, was he embarrassed? Or was he like, hey, man, I just walked on water.
I did it. You didn't.
Right.
So
Being idiots.
I think that's an important question that you're probably going to ask all 3 weeks of this Peter mini-series.
The role of failure.
The role of
Yeah,
failure.
because he's not done failing.
He is far from done
got a
failing.
great track record.
Yeah.
He's far from done failing. And even when this Peter miniseries wraps up with the Transfiguration, we all know because we've read the story, he's still not done failing.
Yeah.
That's a great question as we study the life of Peter.
Yeah, he wasn't done failing, but he also, like, Jesus didn't, if Barry's right, or Barry's interpretation is right, like, Jesus wasn't trying to shame him and his tiny faith. He was reminded, encouraged, corrected of who Jesus was.
Yeah.
Peter didn't have to, like, try harder. He's like, try harder next time you want to walk on the water. It's like, Peter, the reason Peter walked on water wasn't because Peter was trying really hard. The reason Peter fell wasn't because Peter stopped trying. It was because it was all success or failure was based on how focused he was on the Savior. So to me, it says failure is like, it's an opportunity for, it's not the end. Failure's not the end.
Yeah. I read this from my favorite, BibleHub.com.
Man, you need to start getting paid from these guys.
Make me a T-shirt that says I heart BibleHub.com.
Not only do you reference it a lot, when you reference it, you say it's my favorite.
It is
every single time you
my
reference it.
go-to. I love it. I love it, and it's because of things like this. I did a quick little word study on that "You of Little Faith," and one of its study helps said that phrase, the "You of Little Faith," isn't about an absence of belief, but rather of stunted growth. Stunted growth. That Jesus constantly couples the rebuke, you of little faith, with a fresh demonstration of power or teaching that regrounds the disciples in God's faithfulness. Little faith is inseparable from inadequate perception of who Jesus is. And I think that's what you were just saying.
Yeah.
Jesus, every time he's saying that you have little faith, he's redirecting people to the reality of who he is. And it's not because of you that you can walk on water. You can't will yourself to walk on water. It's because of me. It's not because of you.
Yeah.
I think, and again, going back to the idea of Matthew being this discipleship manual, to see these, there's several failures of Peter listed. Like we said, we're going to talk about those in the next couple of weeks. Like, that should be such a encouragement to all of us, because like that's our lives. I mean, we do the same thing, and yet Peter is not cast off and didn't make the cut, discipleship cut, and he's still and he's still enthusiastically, gives it another try. It's like, all right, okay. It doesn't seem to have demoralized him in any way.
Yeah. And I think that speaks to what Barry was saying about, like, Jesus wasn't there to be like, what's wrong with your faith, man?
Yeah.
He wasn't shaming him. He wasn't trying to embarrass him. He was just like, don't you remember who I am? Like, but if he had shamed him, I feel like that might be demoralizing.
Yeah. I think if Jesus had shamed him, we probably wouldn't have seen much more of Peter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, he would have a couple of times, and it would have been. So that adds a lot of weight to that argument for sure. Yeah.
All right. Where do we go next? Do you even know?
I think I do know. I think we're going into the Peter, I'm going to call you Cephas, and on this rock I will build my church, which is like this great triumph for Peter. But then right after that, you're the son of the devil. Yep. That's where we're going.
All right.
More highs and lows.
Yes.
Highs and lows for Peter.
Yeah.
Golly. Are you preaching next week, Maron?
I'm preaching the Transfiguration.
You're doing Transfiguration.
Week.
Okay.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
It's hard to believe we're here, because like I remember talking about these weeks and like you preaching these weeks like months ago. And now we're here.
And here we are.
Here we are.
November.
So Barry's preaching again this coming weekend. He'll be back with us next Monday. Jeff, thank you.
Hey, it's my pleasure. Thank you,
Man,
guys.
you got out of the boat and you came on this podcast. Man, it's walked upon the water.
I did it.
Yeah, you did it. But yeah, thanks for being here. And
Hey,
it was great
Appreciate
to have you. So Barry will be back, and that's all we got this week. So Maron, will you please hang on?
Pins and
Send
needles.
us out.
What do you want me to do?
Please send us out.
Do justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with your God.
And we'll see you on the other side of Sunday.